Welcome to the Blueprint Podcasts, a mental health show hosted by James Thompson. Let's join in now to hear today's topic.
Welcome everyone to the Blueprint Podcast. Got a great message for you today, and this is going out for people who are struggling with drug addiction in general, and people who need to surmise pretty much what's going on and what's happening to them. I'd like to speak to them about this and try to give some workaround to breaking this addiction, and try to control this monster. And the aspect of what it takes to surmise this, I want to use a spiritual approach to this because I think it's worth in every point in the matter of having a spiritual guidance to help you evaluate this idea. Everything that comes to separate you from the things you love, your family, your work. If you notice the size of that item, it's often very small, right? If it's some sort of drug, it comes in a small bag. If it's some sort of alcohol, it's a small bottle, or something you can carry, right? And I was thinking about this in the aspect of the enemy knows at times just how to give us something to carry that's just light enough but can still slow us down just the same. It's our cross, so to speak. It's our cross that we bear, just like the son that was sacrificed for us, that he had to carry. The cross was the sins that God was relieving us of. He was saying, come to me and I can lift your burden. I can make your burden lighter. And he had to sacrifice the son to have this demonstration of the burden he wanted to lift within us. So this is very meaningful in the idea of the addiction that we carry. Although it's a small bag of something, a small bag of marijuana, a small packet of cigarettes, a small something of medicinal or non-medicinal purposes that we need, that we are addicted to soothe ourselves, to cope, to manipulate ourselves into living a false life or escape reality of the life that we don't want. Whatever we do to numb the challenge of living. So in that we look at our life so small, and this item that we carry is even smaller, but it's still changing the way and the path of our future, because this is where we risk and stand to lose the most, and we don't balance well within this time. We're making decisions that aren't well, and we're often leading ourselves to a deeper resentment and regret. So I want to talk about using this to ultimately understand how we can give up this burden or this addiction, and how to walk into some sort of freedom that gives us the power to stop. If we can look at the burden that we're carrying as the thing that's ultimately going to change our life for the worst, we must look at the burden that we're carrying in the form of our addiction and know that it will change our life for the worse. You must affirm that within, that whatever you are doing to yourself that is not the healthiest mindset, where you negotiate to have life not fulfilled because you decide to not engage with your natural feelings, whatever those moments are that we numb these senses, we have to use our better understanding about how we change our reality. How do we change our reality is very important. It becomes more important for us to learn how to use our ability to think and know that whatever this is that I'm doing, that I know takes me away from people that I love, is ultimately not for me. Stay tuned.
You are listening to The Remedy.
We at the Blueprint Network always want to remind you that your mental health comes first. The show may be entertaining at times, but it is important for you to seek medical attention right away if you ever feel you will harm yourself. Please don't hesitate to call. Someone is always willing to hear how they can help. Just dial 988 from any phone. Thank you.
You are listening to The Remedy.
Welcome back to The Remedy. We were talking a little bit more about using the proper mindset when we evaluate the addiction that we're up against. So I want to leave a challenge to everyone, and I want them to use their better understanding of themselves right now to think about what it's costing you to be addicted. What does it cost to be addicted? What do you give up? What time do you give up? What things do you give up? What happens when you are allowed to be addicted? When you can check out for hours, or you can kind of pretend that you're high, but you're still with it. Everybody's still kind of knowing you're there, or everyone else is high too, so what's the difference? When I say addictions, people get scared because, in the mental health field, it starts to speak of trauma and things of that nature, and addictions often have those ties to things from our childhood, because we develop these behaviors from the experiences that we've had, sometimes to self-soothe, sometimes we experience them from a nurturing aspect or a lack of nurturing or nature. It's those aspects of our life that come together and develop to the adult, or subsequently the preteen years and to the adult years. We are developing a hard core coping mechanism or coping system that could not always be in the best working order, and so we develop these other behaviors to compromise for what didn't happen, for what we didn't learn. And these behaviors get in the way of the true maximization of our higher self, because our higher self operates on a different frequency that allows us to be more involved and use our feelings more to live a life of this fulfillment instead of looking for things or other addictions to fill the voids. And this other aspect of life, the voids become smaller as we engage more of our natural feelings to absorb life. And that's what has to happen. And I think with that aspect, you can say, whatever I'm doing to myself that is unhealthy must stop if I plan to live a life worth living. Right? All right.
You
I
have
want
been
you guys to
listening
try.
to The Remedy, part of the Blueprint Podcast Network. Drop an email to theremedy@gmail.com.